Yo! So there's a lot going on in 2024 in MTG. There's a lot going on every year, really. But in case you miss it, these are my favorite budget cards you might not have saw. I'm using $1.50 as the benchmark, and hey, on with the show. We'll start off with Murders at Karlov Manor. I'm not a fan of the aesthetics of this set, but there were some great commander cards. Starting with Case of the Ransacked Lab. Instant and sorcery spells you cast cost one less. Easy to solve, and drawing a card for every instant or sorcery spell you cast? That's awesome. This card can be a powerhouse. Anzrag's Rampage. Really love this card. Destroy all artifacts you don't control. Awesome. And then exile the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of artifacts that are in the graveyard from the battlefield. You put a big beast into play, it has haste, and you get it back. So essentially, you're casting it, getting it back. It's like drawing a card, destroying artifacts. Only 5 mana? Pretty good deal. Demand answers. Red needs some good draw cards, and I think this is one of them. You don't have to give up a card in your hand. You can sack an artifact. Maybe you have a cheap treasure token, or it's late game and you don't need your mana rock. Boom, 2 cards, instant speed. I'm liking it. No witnesses, nothing fancy here, just a cheap board wipe that can maybe net you some gain if you're the one with the most creatures. Another blue case, Case of the Shifting Visage, or Visage. At the end of your upkeep, Surveil 1, pretty good. It's not hard to solve, and whenever you cast an non-legendary creature spell, copy it. I mean, look at like Merfolk maybe or something like that, Merfolk Tribal or like Sphinx Tribal. That could get out of hand pretty quick. Incinerator of the Guilty. Who doesn't love dragons? This is a big body, and it gives you a chance when you deal damage to a player. You can use your graveyard to potentially wipe their board. And again, it's a dragon. I'd pick this up if you could at the cheap price. I love the card. Crime Novelist. Super underrated card. When you sack an artifact, this creature gets a +1/+1 counter, and you get a red mana. I think there's a million ways to bust this card. Haven't used this yet, but I mean, it's a goblin too. I don't know, looks pretty awesome. Public Thoroughfare? This is just, I mean, there's nothing special here. It's just if you want to play a 5-color deck on a budget, I think this is a good option. Outlaws. Feels like a Universe is Beyond set, but there are some great magic cards in it for budget EDH, like Balvan Intervention. Takes care of an artifact or a creature, and all they get is a 2/2 Ox. Not too bad for a budget card. So, I got Conduit Pylons right here, but really, all the deserts in this set are pretty awesome. Just showing this one, but I check all of them. They all have a purpose, and all do some cool stuff. Like this one, gives you a colorless mana. When it enters the battlefield, you surveil 1, and if you need mana fixing, you can add 1 mana of any color. Now this card I like, Full Steam Ahead. 5 mana, not that much, but maybe a little much. At the end of turn, each creature you control gets +2/+2 trample, and this is the most important part. This creature can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. So, there's no double blocking, obviously, and you can get some serious damage through if you do this right. Now, Fleeting Reflection. These are gems. You get hexproof, you save your creature. But wait, there's more. You get to untap it. But wait, there's more. Let's say there's a Blood Artist on the field. Copy it. Save yourselves from life. Let's say there's a Viscera Seer you want to dig in your deck. There it is. Lots of uses for this card. Love it. So Map the Frontier at first glance looks just like an average card, but it's pretty awesome. You can get 2 basic land cards, or deserts, and/or deserts. Deserts are awesome in this set, like I said earlier. There's so many things you can do with them. They can fix your mana, they can do some utility, and it's a great ramp spell, and it's super cheap. Now, Lock and Load doesn't seem special, but with the plot mechanic, you could do some cool stuff. I mean, let's say worst case scenario, you plot it, later on, you draw a card, and then maybe you cast 1, 2 instant or sorcery spells you cast that turn. So you've essentially you paid 4 mana for 3, but let's say it's one of those turns where you pop off, you know, and you cast like 5 instant or sorcery spells that turn. I mean, the investment can pay off on this one. I'm a sucker for creature cards that do things on the battlefield, like utility stuff. This one you can destroy an artifact or enchantment. It's got vigilance, 2 mana for a 2/2. I mean, the power creep is insane. I love this card. I'm sure Varmint's gonna be, you know, a powerful archetype soon. So yeah, I love this card. Modern Horizons 3, another controversial set, and another set with great commander cards. Starting off with, not sure why this card is so cheap. It seems insane. Echoes of Eternity. Triggered abilities of colorless spells trigger additional time, and whenever you cast a colorless spell, copy it. That seems super busted. Yeah, I don't know how this card's budget. Final Act, The Poor Man's Farewell. 6 mana, choose one or more, destroy all creatures, planeswalkers, battles, graveyards. Each opponent loses all counters. Those are all pretty cool things, and for a budget card, man, I'm going to pick up a couple copies. This seems pretty good. Invert Polarity, if you're a commander player, how can you not love this card? Choose target spell, flip a coin. If you win, you control that spell, choose new targets. If not, you just counter it. For 3 mana, 2 blue and 1 red. Come on. No brainer. Okay, hear me out on this one. Let's say you're at 9 poison counters. Your opponent has Contagion classed out. They pass priority. You siege smash it, split second, boom. You don't die from poison. Split second, I think, is an underrated ability in Commander, and destroying an artifact that's uncontested, I think it's pretty good. I like this card. Monstrous Vortex, gotta get me one of these. 4 mana enchantment. Basically, when you cast a creature spell, power 5 or greater, I mean, essentially it's a cascade equal to the spell's mana value. This card's awesome, and it's dirt cheap. I love it. I'm gonna get it. Ooh, I love this card. Consuming Corruption, 2 black mana, deals X damage to target creature or planeswalker. You gain X life equal to number of swamps you control. I love mono black. I'm a mono black enthusiast, and you're always spending life, and it's removal. So you get life, removal. Psh, woo, give me it.
Oh, baby, a triple! Oh, yeah!
3 modes on this card. I like choices. Collective Resistance, 2 mana, and if you pay a green for each escalate, you can either destroy target artifact, destroy target enchantment, target creature gains hexproof, and indestructible at the end of turn. Those are all great things. You can do all of them for 5 mana. Love this card. Super great budget card. I'm gonna get some. Okay, Fangs of Colonia. A lot of word soup on this card, so bear with me. 2 mana sorcery, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control, then double the number of +1/+1 counters on each creature that had a +1/+1 counter, put it this way. And you can overload it for 6. Basically, in a nutshell, every creature you control gets a +2/+2 counter on it. Yeah, that seems pretty decent. There's lots of shenanigans you can do with this. Like this card a lot. Pretty cool. Accursed Marauder. It's a zombie. When it enters, everybody sacrifices a non-token creature. Simple as. Good card, though. Molten Gatekeeper. A poor man's Perforos. When another creature enters the battlefield under your control, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. I like it. Good card. Bloomburrow. Man, do I love this set. Near perfect. And there's some great commander cards like Dire Sight. Pinnacle budget card draw. Black 2 colorless sorcery, surveil 2, draw 2, lose 2 life. If you're playing with Graveyard, hey, you're surveilling 2, you're drawing 2 cards. Man, the card's awesome. It's basically just another version of Read the Bones, and in some cases, might be better. Before I get into the next card, can we just look at the art on these Bloomburrow cards? Man, some of them are exquisite. I love it. And for the common good, this card's pretty sweet. Create X tokens that are copies of target token you control, then tokens you control gain indestructible until your next turn, and you gain 1 life for each token you control. A lot going on there. It costs green XX. So with green, I'm sure you can find some mana, and I'm sure you could bust this card out. It seems pretty broken. Awesome card. Valley Quest Caller. White 1 colorless rabbit warrior. Hey, if you're playing rabbits, bats, birds, mice, they get +1/+1. And whenever 1 or more of those come into play, you scribe 1. All-star card. All-star card. Starscape Cleric. Black and 1 colorless. Hey, I am not an Aristocrats enthusiast. I'm not really a big fan of it, but this card's an all-star in those type of decks. Flying, can't block, but whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. There's all those decks that do that kind of stuff, and you get Offspring. So if you pay the additional black and 2 colorless, you get a 1/1 token copy of it. This can fit in a lot of decks and decently priced. I'd go for it if it floats your boat. Stormcatch Mentor, blue and red. Man, Otter Wizard, haste, prowess. Instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. How do you not love this card? And tell me you don't want that otter in your house hanging out with you. Blacksmith's Talent. So here's a nifty enchantment class card if you're running equipment. When it enters, you create a colorless artifact token with equipped creature hits, +1/+1, equip 2. Then if you leveled up for 3 mana, at the beginning of your turn, attach target equipment you control up to 1 target creature you control. Pretty cool. And then for another 4 mana, during your turn, equipped creatures you control have double strike and haste. I mean, it's a cheap card. It doesn't cost very much to get going. Yeah, I'd run it in an equipment deck. Here's another super class card, Hunter's Talent, perfect for a fight deck, I might add. When it enters, target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. And then level 2 for 2 mana. Whenever a target creature attacks, it gets +1/+0 trample to end a turn. And level 3 for 4 mana. At the beginning of your end step, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, draw a card. This is a pretty cool class. I'd use it. Alright, Clifftop Lookout. Love this card a lot. It's got reach, green, 2 colorless, Frog Scout, 1/2. When it enters, reveal a card from the top of your library to reveal a land card. Now that's any land card. That could be an Urza's Tower, it could be a Cavern of Souls, whatever you want it. Put that land on the battlefield tapped and rest in a bomb your library in random order. This is a great card. I really like this, and it's a different way to ramp, and it's a creature too. Overprotect, green and 1 colorless instant. Target creature you control gets +3/+3, trample, hexproof, indestructible in a turn. For 2 mana, man, you pack a punch for that. And come on, look at the flavor text on that card. Blor's defenses are impervious. Blor the Impervious. Wiser words never spoken. Peerless Recycling. Green, 1 colorless instant. Return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. If the gift was promised, instead return 2 target permanent cards from your graveyard to your hand. Gifting a card, basically they draw a card. For 2 mana, you get 2 cards back from your graveyard into your hand, instant. Yeah, when I pulled this out of the pack, I was like, I'm for sure going to use this. And I have. And again, I'm going to harp on it, but look at that art. That art is phenomenal. And Coiling Rebirth, 2 black, 3 colorless sorcery. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Then if the gift was promised and that creature isn't legendary, create a token that's a copy of that creature, except it's a 1/1. Pretty cool card. You basically get 2 creatures for 5 mana. I mean, if they got some nice ETBs or die effects, this card can go far. Great. More universes beyond. But anyways, there's some great commander cards in here. Let's take a look. Exercise. It's a sorcery. But it's white and 1, and it's a catch-all. Exile target artifact, enchantment, or creature with power 4 or greater. Seems like a winner to me. Come back wrong. And yes, mages in Magic the Gathering do wear white sneakers. But sorcery. Destroy target creature. If a creature card is put into the graveyard this way, return it to the battlefield under your control, and then sacrifice it to meet your next end step. Black and 2 colorless? Hey, I like this card. Valgavoth's Lair. Spent a month there in one night. It's an enchantment land with hexproof, and when it enters the battlefield, choose a color, add 1 mana of the chosen color, and it's hexproof. I think this is a pretty cool card. You can fix your mana, and maybe like in a 5 or 4 color deck, this will just get you what you need. And don't forget, it's an enchantment, which opens up more possibilities. Entity Tracker, blue 2 colorless, Flash, Human Scout, Eerie, whenever an enchantment you control enters, or whenever you fully unlock a room, draw a card, 2/3, decent body. Enchantment draw, pretty good. I don't know what rooms are. Maybe I'll know one day, but until then, I still think this is a great card. Vile Mutilator. Looks like one of my ex-girlfriends. It's a hefty cost at 7 mana, 2 black, 5 colorless. It's a demon, but it's a great reanimation target, or just a big baddie you want to cast. As initial cost to cast a spell, sacrifice a creature or enchantment. No problem, just reanimate it, but it has flying, trample, and when it enters, each opponent sacrifices a non-token enchantment, then sacrifices a non-token creature. 6/5. Sign me up. Waltz of Rage. 2 red, 3 colors, sorcery. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to each other creature. As a bonus until the end of turn, whenever a creature you control dies, exile the top card of your library. You may play it until the end of your next turn, which gives you some time. Pretty cool card. You get a lot of utility out of it, and you know, red can always use more board wipes. You just need a big creature. Yeah, pretty good card. Grievous Wound. Ooh, this card's nasty. 2 black, 3 colorless, enchantment. Enchant player, they can't gain life, and whenever enchanted player is dealt damage, they lose half their life rounded up. Yikes. Man, I wouldn't want to be the one dropping this on the table, but you're going to be an enemy, but man, this card's pretty good. And that's actually some pretty cool art. Insidious Fungus, 1 green mana for a fungus creature. It's a 1/2, power creep. Pay 2 mana, sacrifice it. You can choose one. Destroy an artifact, an enchantment, or draw a card, and then put a land card for your hand on the battlefield tab. Lots of cool stuff you can do with a creature at 1 mana. Yeah, man, this is a winner. You know what? I'll say it again, man. The power creep for a 1 mana, what this card does. I mean, imagine if this card was printed in like alpha, like how powerful it would be. I mean, like just for a freaking 1-drop, man. This is a great card. Glimmer Burst. 1 blue, 3 colors, instant. Draw 2, then create a white 1/1 Glimmer enchantment creature token. Simple, but effective. Redress Fate. 2 white, 6 colorless sorcery. Return all artifacts and enchantment cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. And the miracle, of course, white, 3 colorless. You can cast this if it's the first card you drew that turn. I like Miracle. I'm glad it's back in certain sets. And this card seems pretty good. It seems like it could be a late game backbreaker if you Miracle it. Yeah, this is a pretty cool card. And I think the art's pretty cool too. Marvin, the Murderous Mimic. 2 colorless, legendary artifact, creature toy. Marvin, Murderous Mimic has all activated abilities of creatures you control that don't have the same name as this creature. It's a 2/2. I don't know, man. This card's creepy. I'm sure it's broken somewhere, and at a budget level, I'd pick it up because I'm sure this will go up. Seems like a pretty cool card. I don't know where to use it off the top of my head, but I don't know. I guess I'm a fan. It looks pretty cool. Foundations. I thought this set was absolute home run, grand slam, and I hope Magic makes more sets like this. And here we have Abyssal Harvester, 2 black, 1 colorless. It's a Demon Warlock, 3/2. Exile target creature card from a graveyard that was put there this turn. Create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a nightmare in addition to its other types. Then exile other nightmare tokens you control. This is pretty cool because it's a graveyard, not just yours, and it's pretty cool if you have sack outlets. You can do some recursion. And yeah, it's a decent creature. I like it. And speaking of cards I like Archmage of Runes, or Archmage, depending on how you pronounce it. 2 blue, 3 colorless, giant wizard. Instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, draw a card. On a 3/6, man, what a good card. I can't wait to play with this card. It just seems awesome, and yeah, super good card. Celestial Armor. White, 2 colorless, artifact, equipment, flash. When this equipment enters, attach it to target creature control, and that creature gets hexproof and indestructible until the end of turn. +2/+0 flying with an equip cost of white and 3. Man, I think this is a home run card. It can do a lot. There's a lot of facets to it. It's a card I'll probably pick up. Elvish Regrower, 2 green, 2 colorless, Elf Druid. When it enters, return target permanent card from the graveyard to your hand. It's just an elf that does things, that's all. Goblin Surprise, red, 2 colorless instant. Choose one. Creature you control, give +2/+0, or create 2 1/1 red goblin creature tokens. Cool choices, cool card. High Society Hunter, 2 black, 3 colorless. Vampire Noble flying. When it attacks, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Sack Outlet. Whenever another non-token creature dies, draw a card. How convenient. This card can go in almost any deck. I like it, and I'm probably going to get it. Hinterland Sanctifier. White 1/2 rabbit. Whenever another creature you control enters, gain a life. Again, simple, but effective. Homunculus Horde. Say that fast 3 times. Blue, 3 colorless, and this creature has the ability, whenever you draw your second card each turn, create a token to copy this creature. It's a 2/2, and in the right deck, this can be pretty fun. Arbiter of Woe, 2 black, 4 colorless. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a creature. Flying. When this creature enters, each opponent discards a card and loses 2 life. You draw a card and gain 2 life. 5/4. Again, another great reanimation target. Yeah, this is a pretty cool card. A nice budget reanimator target. Vengeful Blood Witch. Black, 1 colorless. Vampire Warlock. 1/1. When this creature or another creature control dies, target opponent loses 1 life, and you gain a life. Straightforward. Nice aristocrat card. Spinner of Souls. Green, 2 colorless. Spider Spirit. With reach, like every good spider should have. When another non-token creature you control dies, you may reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card. Put that card into your hand and the rest in the bottom of your library in random order. Basically, when another creature dies, you draw a creature card. And it's a 4/3. It's pretty good stats for the price and what you get. Yeah, I like it. Yes, I know. 2 blue, 1 colorless. It's a 3-mana counter spell, Refute. But you counter target spell, draw a card, you discard a card. Hey, maybe you're playing Reanimator and you want to discard that card. Or you just need to draw a card. Yeah, I like this card. I don't know if I'll use it too much, but I'm sure I will fit it into a deck somewhere. Preposterous Proportions. 2 green, 5 colorless. Sorcery. Creature you control gain +10/+10 and vigilance in a turn. 7 mana in a green deck. Not too difficult. This seems like a pretty inexpensive pump spell for the price, budget-wise. And I already have this in a deck, and yeah, it seems pretty good. And here we have the Mischievous Mystic. Blue, 1 colorless for a human wizard. Flying, 2/1, not bad. And whenever you draw your second card each turn, create a 1/1 blue fairy creature token with flying. I like this. This is a pretty cool card, and I will definitely use it. Hey, if you made it this far, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for putting up with me for all this time. Leave me some comments on some cards you think I might have missed, or you might disagree with me on, or whatever reason. I'd love to hear from you. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.